Lost and Found. Written by Rankaloid. Read by Arashi. Have you seen Rantaro around? Kaito looks up from the TV, eyebrows raised quizzically. A scene of a ship drifting silently by an alien planet plays, illuminating the couch he's lounging on with soft blue light. Kaito wasn't paying much attention, honestly. It's been a long Sunday of doing nothing, and all the episodes are starting to blend together. He's paying even less attention now. His eyes are on Kokichi, his boyfriend of a little over 2 years, standing in the doorway with a blank frown on his face. Nah, Kaito says, shrugging. Was I supposed to? Oh, no, not at all, Kokichi says, with a sly grin that absolutely reads as, It's funny that you didn't, though. It's just that he left for a walk over an hour ago, and he still hasn't come back. Wait, he left for a walk? Kaito asks. He turns around on the couch, resting his chin on the back of it with a frown. Was he here? Kokichi giggles, a little nishishi, harmonizing with the sound of futuristic engines revving in the background. He hops forward just to reach over the couch and muss Kaito's hair, which Kaito protests with a small, Hey! You should be more aware of your surroundings, Kokichi suggests, grinning. What if a burglar came in and killed me dead, and you were too busy watching Star Wars to notice? It's Star Trek, Kaito corrects, with a frown, hastily trying to stick his hair back up with his fingers. He's pretty sure Kokichi knows that. They have this debate at least once a month. Minimum. Well, space potato, Kokichi says dismissively. The point is, Rantaro isn't here, and Kai-chan is ignoring me to oogle at pretty alien ladies on TV. And I am, Kokichi declares, flopping over the couch's backrest dramatically like a fainting Victorian maiden. So bored. You could come here and watch instead of complaining so much then, Kaito suggests. This is Kaito looks at the TV again, frowning. Well, it's an alright episode. Kokichi lets out a long, considering, noise as he slowly slides down the back of the couch until the top of his head is resting against the cushion. It's the kind of shit that really caught Kaito's attention when they first moved in together. His inability to use furniture like a normal human being. Kaito still notices it now, but he barely even registers it as weird anymore. It's just Kokichi things. Still cute, though. Kaito would ruffle Kokichi's hair or give him a kiss on the cheek, if the ankle of both of them wasn't so damn awkward right now. He settles for patting him on the leg. Tempting. But nah, Kokichi decides, flashing Kaito an upside-down smirk. It's a beautiful day outside, you know. Perfect weather to track down Rantaro and make sure he didn't get kidnapped or murdered. Kokichi could be lying about the whole Rantaro thing, honestly, but it's also not unlike Rantaro to slip in and slip out without saying a word to anyone. That's another thing Kaito's just gotten used to, living with his 2 boyfriends. Rantaro's conscientious, and usually lets Kaito or Kokichi know if he'll be gone long, but sometimes he just does stuff. I'm sure he's fine, Kaito sighs, squeezing Kokichi's leg. He's got a right to take his walks whenever he wants. But for an hour? Kokichi whines dramatically. And without telling me? Kaito is getting the sneaking suspicion that this isn't actually about the possibility of ensuring Rantaro's safety. He's starting to think that maybe, just maybe, this whole thing is more about alleviating Kokichi's boredom. He looks down, and his suspicion is confirmed when he sees excitement glinting in Kokichi's eyes, rather than worry. The thing is, Kaito's also bored. Usually he spends his time reining in and protesting Kokichi's bullshit, but just this once, maybe it'd be more fun to play along. He reaches for the remote, and Star Trek blips out of existence with a soft click. All right, he huffs. I could use a walk anyway. Where should we? Kokichi presses his hands against the seat and swings his legs, launching himself into a tumbling backflip down the front of the couch. His feet land with an awkward wobble on the ground. He grins and takes an exaggerated bow once he's steadied himself. Kaito begrudgingly claps. Don't be ridiculous, Kokichi chides. His expression is scolding, but Kaito can tell from how he bounces on his heels. He's very excited, he said yes. We have to conduct a proper investigation first. Where are we going to run off to if we don't have any leads? I don't know, a quick stroll around the block, see if he's nearby, Kaito said, shrugging. Wow, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you're not taking your role as a detective seriously, Kai-chan. Kokichi snaps his fingers. Well, first of all, he left his phone and his wallet here. Kaito points out, glancing at the objects on the table with a thoughtful frown. He must not have been planning on going very far, or anywhere he'd have to spend money. Kokichi's delighted smirk flickers into a look of annoyance, which Kaito responds to with a wide grin. Got you, motherfucker. Well, I guess that's not wrong, Kokichi admits, examining his nails. I'll promote you from flunky detective to unpaid intern. Hey, I'm definitely a full-fledged detective, Kaito protests. My sidekick skills are my skills, Kokichi recites. He fakes a big, dramatic yawn. Boring! You're so predictable, Kaito. I could imitate you in my sleep. That's a damn lie, Kaito huffs. There's nothing about me that's predictable. Aw, you got me. My beloved Kai-chan is inimitatable, Kokichi admits with a broad grin. So, Rantaro went somewhere close by where he couldn't spend any money. Where's that leave us, unpaid intern? I'm not answering that, Kaito grumbles, crossing his arms. A public park, of course, Kokichi goes on, undeterred. But there's only 2 parks within walking distance of here, and they're in opposite directions. Quite a conundrum, wouldn't you say? Oh, that's easy, Kaito says, eyes lighting up like he's a kid who knows the right answer in class. We'll just split up. Kokichi's smirk turns sharp and unnerving. That's a terrible idea. Haven't you watched any horror movies, Kai-chan, my beloved? That's how the monster that got Rantaro gets you too. All right, Kaito interrupts, paling. If you want to walk together so bad, just say so, man. Okay, so I was thinking, if we want to narrow down our options, we'll need witness testimony. A shadow falls over Kokichi's face, and he continues in a hushed tone. Who saw Rantaro walking what direction at what time? And do they have alibis for when Rantaro went missing? Kokichi's clearly having a great time with this. Maybe he passed by the flower shop if he went to the park north of here, Kaito suggests. Gonta might have saw him pass by. Wow, amazing idea, intern, Kokichi cheers. And he's so tall, he definitely could have seen our beloved Rantaro coming from a mile away. Gonta's also friendly and conscientious of other people, when he's not too wrapped up in his job or a cool bug he found hiding in the flowers, and also has the most absurdly good vision Kaito's ever known a guy to have. But sure, yeah, figures Kokichi would focus on him being tall. All right, Kaito declares, punching a fist into his hand. We've got a plan. Let's head up to the flower shop, say hi to Gonta, and figure out whether he saw Rantaro. That's the spirit, Kokichi said. Anyway, go ahead and kneel down so I can... I'm not carrying you. They get to the flower shop pretty quickly. Kaito keeps up a good pace, and Kokichi's a fast walker too, even when he's walking backwards, hands on the back of his head, quizzing Kaito about obscure space trivia and trying to provoke him into arguments about whether Pluto is a planet or not. For the last time, Kaito groans as he holds the door to the flower shop open for Kokichi. I don't have anything against Pluto, but there has to be a consistent scientific definition for planets. It's still out there, being a dwarf planet. It's not like it's gone forever. The flower shop is small, quaint, a corner shop with the sort of cheerful awnings and bright-colored displays you'd expect. The inside is equally charming, crammed wall to wall with pre-made bouquets and potted plants alike. Gonta works here part-time, when he isn't busy with his entomology degree. Kaito likes the guy and tries to make a habit of dropping by to say hi pretty often. That's just what big science wants us to think, Kokichi pitches as he cheerfully steps through the door. Who says the military didn't blow Pluto out of the sky? Has anyone seen Pluto lately? I've got a high-powered telescope in my room. I could literally show you Pluto tonight. Ooh, a stargazing date, huh? That's pretty romantic, Kokichi responds, apparently forgetting to sound sarcastic. He puts a hand to his forehead and fakes a dramatic swoon to Kaito, who dutifully catches him with one arm. Just me and Kai-chan, alone under the... Hey, Kaito? Oma-kun? Kaito glances up, blinking. Gonta is nowhere in sight, but the lone other person who is standing in the flower shop is Shuichi, hat off, cradling a flower pot with a blooming pink chrysanthemum plant in his arms. Shuichi! Kaito bursts out, grinning. He shoves Kokichi back onto his feet to walk over and clap Shuichi on the shoulder, as is his solemn duty. Kokichi stumbles a few steps before righting himself, shooting Kaito a look like an indignant cat that's just been evicted from a warm place. Shuichi, for his part, almost drops the flower pot he's holding when Kaito claps his shoulder, but he smiles up and responds with a brief, quiet, Hey. Oh, is Saihara-chan crossing Kai-chan and I's date? Kokichi asks, grinning. How forward! I'm sorry, but we're not expanding the polycule at this time. Three's company, but 4 is just ridiculous. Oh, is that what you two are here for? Shuichi asks. He's totally unfazed by the rest of Kokichi's statement. Late-stage Kokichi friendship disease, that. I'd never really thought of a flower shop as a date spot. Isn't it more like a place you'd go before dates? Really? Kokichi asks, smile turning lifelike. I think a flower shop is a great place for a date. Don't you agree? Shuichi narrows his eyes at Kokichi and opens his mouth, but before he can say anything, he's interrupted. Sorry, booms a voice from the back, loud and deep, yet gentlemanly and deeply apologetic. There's some rustling. Then the door at the back of the shop opens, and a large man ducks through, wild green hair tied back in a loose ponytail. Sorry, Gonta heard people come in, but Gonta had to take care of things and... no, it's okay, Gokuhara-kun. Shuichi hurriedly reassures him, and the smile that blooms on his face is wide and genuine. Kaito and Uma-kun just got here, and I wasn't waiting long. Oh, Saihara-kun, Gonta exclaims, his worried expression widening into a smile at the sight of the other boy. And Koma-kun and Momoto-kun too. Welcome, everyone. Gonta is sorry for late arrival. Can Gonta help you with anything? Gokuhara-kun, it's really fine, Shuichi murmurs, shaking his head and smiling sheepishly. Yeah, we're actually here to ask you something, Kaito says, nodding. Did you see Rantaro pass by here earlier? Amami-kun? Gonta asks, frowning. No. Gonta doesn't think so. Gonta has been keeping an eye on the storefront all day, but Gonta hasn't seen Rantaro walk by. Sorry. Don't apologize so easy, man, Kaito huffs. We appreciate the help. Yep, we're trying to track down Rantaro's kidnapper, so every piece of information could be crucial, Kokichi chimes in. Gonta's eyes and mouth go wide with horror. Kokichi's expression blanks. But that was a lie, of course, Kokichi continues in a slightly resigned tone. Oh, Gonta sighs out, smiling again. Gonta is so relieved to hear that. So you two are looking for Amami-kun, though? Shuichi asks, brows furrowed, just before Kokichi jumps forward and claps a hand over his mouth. Ah-cha-cha! No helping, detective. You'll take the fun out of it, Kokichi insists, expression serious. Shuichi makes a face like he's frowning under Kokichi's hand, and he looks over at Kaito with a questioning eyebrow raise. Kaito just shrugs, smiling sheepishly and mouths, It's fine, sidekick. Shuichi nods, grabs Kokichi's wrist, and pushes his hand away. Kokichi lets it drop, swinging his arm and putting both hands behind his head with a little grin again. I guess I'll take my exclusion as a compliment, then, Shuichi decides with a slight smirk. Let me know if you change your mind, but I'm sure the two of you will be just fine together. Of course we will be. Anyways, we should head out and keep looking for him, Kaito continues, smiling. Nice to see you, Shuichi. Gonta. Have fun on your date, Saihara-chan, Kokichi quips. This time, Shuichi turns bright red, and Gonta tilts his head. Are you going on a date, Saihara-kun? He asks. Goodbye, Oma-kun, Shuichi snaps, a little loudly. See you, Kaito. Kaito grins and waves. As he walks out, he casts a glance back over his shoulder to Shuichi, all red-faced, standing there while Gonta delicately takes the flower pot out of his hands. Shuichi's been buying so many plants from there, huh? Kokichi comments once they're outside, examining his fingernails idly. Kaito groans. I've been telling him he needs more plants in his apartment for years, and it took him having a damn crush on a part-time florist to finally get any. That's just life sometimes, Kokichi says, nodding. I'm surprised you even noticed he had a crush. Come on, Kaito groans. It's so obvious. Kaito pauses. Also, he told me, he admits sheepishly. Kokichi snorts with genuine laughter at that. You'd think a guy so dedicated to pranks and amusement would laugh like that more often, but it's uncommon enough that it arrests Kaito's attention immediately. When Kokichi looks at Kaito, crinkles in the corner of his eyes, Kaito looking back, smiling, his own expression soft and fond. Anyway, Kokichi drawls out, pointedly looking away from Kaito. Joke's on him, though. Kaito can still see how pink his ears are from here. Where does this little twist of fate leave us? I trust Gonta, Kaito says immediately. If he says he didn't see him, Rantaro probably didn't pass this way. So that's one park we can cross off the list. Well, unless Gonta happened to be in the back, or Rantaro took a roundabout route, Kokichi points out. You have to be open to every possibility, Junior Detective. Junior Detective, huh? Sounds like Kaito's moving up in the world. Why wouldn't he just take the most direct route to the park? Occam's razor, man, Kaito scoffs. Besides, Rantaro likes Gonta. He'd definitely want to stop in and say hi to Gonta if he was coming this way. Kokichi grins. Not bad, he admits. But you'll have to keep up if you want to help find Rantaro alive and whole at the end of this assistant detective. Is assistant detective another promotion? Kaito's really not sure how the hierarchical structure of Kokichi's fake detective agency works. He's gonna assume he got promoted again. Because why wouldn't he have? Oh, here is an idea, Kokichi says cheerfully. You know what's on the way to the other park? Shirogane-chan's tailoring shop. Kokichi continues, before Kaito even has a chance to respond. Kaito's eyes light up. Nice. We can check with her about Rantaro and catch up a little. Hey, maybe Kaito will be there too. Haven't seen her in forever. Kaito doesn't think he's imagining the way Kokichi's self-satisfied smirk softens, but it's gone so quickly, he can't be completely sure. Then let's get moving, assistant, Kokichi chirps. Assistant detective, Kaito snaps. No, wait, damn it, detective! Just detective! No backsies, Kokichi declares. He skips ahead, grinning from ear to ear, and Kaito lets out an audible groan as he chases after him. Tsumugi's shop is more of a narrow, cluttered room, jammed between a coffee shop and a vintage thrift store, and almost full to bursting with various mannequins, colorful threads, and displayed costumes. When Kaito walks in, he discovers, by virtue of knocking over an entire stack of spools and sheets of unknown styrofoam-looking material by the door, that the shop's in an even more disastrous state than usual. The floor is littered with scraps of paper, cloth, and foam, and there are coffee cups and mostly finished takeout meals all over the front desk. To Kaito's delight, the other thing in the shop is one Akamatsu Kaede, gathering up an armful of trash from the desk. She yelps when Kaito walks in, and a few scraps of trash drop off the towering stack of refuse. Yo, Kaede, Kaito greets. Geez, you need a little help over there? No, Kaede huffs. I've got this. As she very carefully balances her way to one of the trash cans in the corner, which is already close to overflowing, Kokichi skips behind her with a little grin. Kaito's half afraid he's going to scare or trip her and make her drop everything, but instead he plucks a few of the dropped pieces of trash off the ground, holding them out and examining them with one eye shut like an intrepid detective collecting evidence. Oh man, he chortles, scratching his chin as he examines an empty cup of instant ramen. Shirogane-chan must be having a supremely normal one. Is she ever? Kaede groans. She dumps out her load of trash into the can. Several pieces clatter and flutter to the ground around the can, and she sighs. Good afternoon, Kaito and Oma-kun. I'm sorry this place is such a mess. It's no problem, Kaito says. He gingerly kicks an empty spool of thread out of the way before he walks over to Kaede, arms spread. She laughs and obligingly gives him a hug, patting his back a couple of times before she pulls away. It's been a while. Aw, no hug for me, Kokichi snickers. Sorry, Kaede responds immediately, with a broad smile. I'm fresh out. Ice cold, Akamatsu-chan, Kokichi responds, lip trembling and eyes welling up. Are you saying you love Kai-chan more than me? I don't think you want me to answer that, Oma-kun, Kaede responds, smile not wavering an inch. Kokichi laughs, and Kaede does too. Kaito looks back and forth between the two of them, smile a bit unsure. He's never really understood what kind of friendship the two of them have going on, and Kokichi's always extremely unhelpful whenever he asks. So, are you like Shirogane-chan's babysitter for today? Kokichi asks. Assistant, Kaede corrects. She rounds. I'm going to be the executor of her last will if she doesn't finish all of these orders soon. She's so talented, but I swear, she's working herself to the... At that exact moment, Tsumugi emerges from the back room, the door slamming clumsily behind her as she steps forward. She looks haggard and haunted, with her hair pulled back into a messy, large bun, and her glasses propped up on her forehead, slightly askew. She stares at Kokichi and Kaito for a long, blank moment, before she seems to register them as human beings. You're not here to place another rush order, are you? She asks, completely monotone. All my slots are full for now. Sorry for the inconvenience. Please have a nice day. That's Kaito and Oma-kun, sweetie, Kaede says gently. She leans forward to give Tsumugi a kiss on the cheek, and as she pulls back, she adjusts her glasses so they're on her face. Tsumugi blinks a few times, then nods. Oh, hi, Momota-kun, Oma-kun. Sorry, it's been a long day. Tsumugi deflates. And a long night. She deflates further. And a long day before that.
No problem, Shirogane, Kaito says with a thumbs up. Good to see business is booming. You're getting sleep and taking breaks, though, right? Tsumugi laughs, a raspy, slightly hysterical noise that lasts at least 5 seconds too long. Kaito and Kokichi exchange nervous looks. Kaede pats Tsumugi on the shoulder, smiling sheepishly.
I've been doing what I can to keep her healthy, she says, but she's got a process, you know? Besides, it's not like this is an everyday thing. If it were, I'd be dead, Tsumugi chimes in helpfully. Or a living zombie, at least. Just like,
Tsumugi trails off, frowning.
Okay, whatever dumb reference you were about to make aside,
Kokichi says cheerfully after a moment of silence passes.
We're actually here to ask about Rantaro. Have either of you seen him? Amami-kun, huh?
Tsumugi says, frowning.
Sorry, but I've been neck-deep in my commissions all day. I basically only looked up to have Kaede do modeling. So, he's missing?
Kaede asks, frowning in deep thought.
Are you guys having a lover's quarrel or something? What? No! Well, got it in one, Akamatsu-chan, Kokichi says cheerfully. Kai-chan drove him away with his harsh words into the arms of a dangerous cult. Well, I know that's a lie, Kaede says, smiling. There's no way Amami-kun would get involved with a dangerous cult.
There's no way I'd drive him away either, Kaito sputters.
I know. Sorry, I was just kidding around,
Kaede clarifies with a more sheepish smile.
I have good news, though. He stopped by earlier. He said he was on his way to the park, but he wanted to say hi while he was in the area.
He did? Kaito replies, perking up like a golden retriever.
He did?
Tsumugi responds, frowning.
And I didn't even notice? Or maybe he didn't notice me. You were really in the zone in the back room,
Kaede explains. She reaches to run her fingers through Tsumugi's hair, who leans into it with the energy of an exhausted cat.
Sweetheart, stop. I'm going to make me fall asleep, she protests. No falling asleep, Kaede chides, turning her ministrations into a more aggressive hair ruffle. You said you had to at least get the coat done by tonight, remember?
Did I say that? Tsumugi asks.
You did.
Tsumugi acknowledges blankly.
Hubris.
Sheesh, do you need a coffee or something? Kokichi asks, frowning. Or maybe a nerd like you prefers Monster or Red Bull.
You've mistaken me for some kind of normie streamer, it seems,
Tsumugi responds with a heavy sigh.
Typical, really. Either way, it'd be easy to cure something with the limitless resources at my disposal, Kokichi declares, spreading his arms in a grand, boastful gesture.
My limited resources, more like, Kaito grumbles. I didn't see you grab your damn wallet on the way out.
Aw, but what's yours is mine, my beloved, Kokichi says, grinning. You should have read the fine print when you signed the vows. Or are you saying you're okay with just leaving poor Shirogane-chan like this?
I didn't say that, Kaito protests. I'll buy her a coffee. Just don't offer my services like they're yours.
You're so generous, Kai-chan, Kokichi chirps. Just what I'd expect from a hero like you.
Stop deflecting, Kaito sputters, but his face warms at the word hero despite himself. Kaede giggles suddenly.
You two are so cute, she explains, when Kaito and Kokichi look over her questioningly. But I'm my sweetheart's assistant for the day, so I'll handle getting her a nice black coffee soon.
Black coffee? Kokichi responds, looking stricken. Then he grins.
Wow, my favorite. Oh, really? I'll be sure to buy you one next time we all go out together then, Kaede exclaims, clasping her hands together with a smile.
Kokichi's lip twitches for just a second in displeasure. He glances at Kaito, and Kaito just shrugs back, like, you did this to yourself, man.
I'm just kidding, Kaede clarifies. I know Oma-kun's probably, like, a total coffee with his sugar person.
He's exclusively a soda guy, actually, Kaito chimes in.
Look at Kai-chan spilling all my most deeply held secrets, Kokichi sighs. I'm going to have to kill him for his sins one of these days.
You won't, Kaito scoffs. You couldn't even if you tried. The luminary of the stars would never die that easily.
Are you sure?
Kokichi asks, beaming.
Not even to poison, or to mauling by a wild bear, or...
I'd befriend the bear, Kaito says firmly. Animals know the luminary's a friend of nature.
You'd befriend the bear,
Kokichi echoes, face-stricken with a rare variety of genuine surprise. Then
He grins, looking childishly and genuinely excited. What would you name it, huh?
This is a fascinating window into your domestic life, Tsumugi interrupts in a monotone. But I should really get back to work. Good luck finding Amami-kun.
Yeah, we should be heading off pretty soon, too, Kaito admits reluctantly. Good luck, Shirogane. Catch you around, Kaede. Kaede offers a warm smile and wave. As Kaito and Kokichi step outside, Kaito gives one last glance back. He can see Kaede pumping her fists through the window, giving some sort of pep talk to Tsumugi, who's giving her an exhausted-looking, but endeared smile back. So, Kokichi asks, swinging his arms. To the park? To the park, Kaito agrees. Impulsively, he reaches down and takes Kokichi's hand, catching it mid-swing. Kokichi glances up and sticks his tongue out, making a show of trying to yank his hand away like it's caught in a bear trap. Kaito rolls his eyes and holds steady. This guy. Kokichi settles after a moment, apparently deciding the joke's run its course, and he interlaces their fingers. The air is starting to cool around them as the afternoon settles to evening, and Kokichi's hand in his feels warmer than ever. Ursa Major, Kaito says with a little eyebrow waggle. By the way.
Of course, Kokichi sighs. Of course you would.
Kaito doesn't miss the little, endeared smile on Kokichi's lips, though. He's pretty sure it's mirrored on his own. The funny thing is, once they get to the park, it doesn't actually take that long to find him. Kokichi's intent on being a distraction, tugging on Kaito's arm and demanding they take some complex route around the park that zigzags through the jungle gym. But Kaito sees Rantaro almost immediately. He's lying in the grass on the gentle slope of a hill, far away from the people and the noise of the rest of the park. His face is turned away, too. If it were anyone else, Kaito would have trouble recognizing him from this distance, but that's his boyfriend. He'd recognize him anywhere. He can't see all the details until he and Kokichi come closer, though, which is why Kaito's heart stutters in his throat when he sees Rantaro fully. He's lying on his back, eyes closed, head tilted to the side. His breathing is slow and peaceful, and the way the dappled sunlight shines down on his skin, and the way his hair rustles lightly in the breeze, makes him look like an angel. He's also lying on one of Kaito's jackets, some tan bomber jacket he picked up from a thrift store years and years ago. He should be more used to the sight of Rantaro and Kokichi using his clothes, given Kokichi's propensity to steal everything that's not nailed down, and Rantaro's tendency to get their dresser drawers mixed up in a half-asleep haze in the morning, but the sight of it still really does something to him. Man, Kokichi murmurs quietly, I wanted to cause a big scene when we finally found him, but... Don't wake him up, Kaito grumbles, elbowing Kokichi's shoulders scoldingly. I know, Kokichi whines, still keeping his volume respectfully low. It just sucks. I was gonna be all, Rantaro, I thought you were dead, and jump into his arms and start sobbing. It was gonna be a total Hallmark movie moment. A real Oscar-winning performance, Kaito agrees dryly. Oscar nominee at least, Kokichi agrees, giggling lightly. Kaito ruffles his hair, feeling altogether far too fond of his boyfriends right now. And he feels a little accomplished when Kokichi leans into it instead of complaining about it. Maybe you could just skip to the jumping into my arms step, Rantaro suggests, voice slow and heavy. I don't think I'm in a position to catch you right now. Kaito opens his mouth to ask, You're awake? But before he can, Kokichi bursts into hiccuping, obnoxious tears. Rantaro! Kokichi wails, Kaito thought you were dead! You're going off script! Kaito sputters. No one thought anyone was dead! I was hoping for at least maimed, Kokichi scoffs, frowning petulantly. This is the most boring kidnapping investigation ever! Rantaro's eyes crinkle with humor. A sly, sleepy smirk creeps over his face. Sorry to disappoint you then, he murmurs. He slowly sits up, stretching, the smirk fading into a long, cat-like yawn. What time is it? Doesn't I worry you two at all? God damn it. Kaito knew this would happen if Kokichi kept going. Rantaro can brush a lot of stuff off, but making other people worry about him always gets under his skin. You didn't, Kaito says quickly. Kokichi's just being an asshole. Guilty as charged, Kokichi chirps. Don't worry about it, Rantaro. Thanks to your little disappearing act, Kai-chan and I had a super fun adventure together. Kaito opens his mouth to protest, reflexively, as he often does when Kokichi says literally anything in that chipper tone of voice, but then stops. They
did have fun? Huh. They even got to catch up with Gonta and Kaide and Shuichi and Shirogane too. Had Kokichi suggested passing through their shops on purpose? Conniving little bastard. Kaito smiles warmly and ruffles Kokichi's hair aggressively. Kokichi groans like he's dying. Rantaro smiles again, watching the two of them with fond eyes. I only meant to be gone a little while, Rantaro continues, tone of voice still unacceptably apologetic. Guess I lost track of time.
Falling asleep tends to do that, Kokichi agrees. You can make it up to me by cooking my next 1,000 meals, okay?
Only 1,000? Rantaro says, tilting his head. That's not a bad deal. He's so genuine looking, so completely deadpan. If Kaito had not known this man for years, he would think he was being serious.
Don't get too excited, Kokichi tuts. They're 3-course meals with dessert, Rantaro. I'm not letting you off that easily.
I see. Any preferences on where I should source your ingredients from? Rantaro responds, and Kaito realizes he has to intervene, or he'll keep doing this for hours. No one was worried, and no one owes anyone anything, Kaito says firmly. He flops on the ground next to Rantaro, squishing the jacket underneath him, and throws an arm around the other boy with a lopsided grin. Still missed you, though. Nice to see you again, man. Rantaro's smile softens, and he leans forward to capture Kaito's lips in a gentle kiss. Kaito hums contentedly, letting the tension in his body unravel. He feels Rantaro's hand come up to cup his chin, and he responds in kind, letting one of his hands wind its way through Rantaro's hair. After a moment, Rantaro pulls back just a bit, warm eyes only inches from Kaito's. Missed you too, Moonshine, Rantaro murmurs, and Kaito's heart skips a beat in his chest. Over a year of dating, and Rantaro can still make Kaito feel like he's falling in love for the first time. Then, Kokichi makes a series of exaggerated gagging noises, and Kaito pulls back to give him a glare. Come the hell over here if you're so mad about getting left out, he complains, frowning.
Don't be ridiculous, Kokichi scoffs. What if I'm just disgusted by your blatant displays of PDA?
Kokichi waltzes over and, to Kaito's surprise, drops down to sit on Kaito's other side instead of Rantaro's.
PDA is a scourge on a mortal and modest society,
Kokichi continues, grabbing onto Kaito's arm and snuggling into it.
You wouldn't catch me dead.
He looks up and gives Kaito a toothy grin.
But I'll make an exception just for you, Starlight,
Kokichi adds with a wink, and Kaito feels himself go dangerously close to Supernova. Damn it, he mutters, looking down at the ground, red to his ears. Rantaro chuckles quietly and plants a soft kiss on Kaito's cheek, then his neck. A warmth settles into Kaito, all the way down to his core. Somehow, the sun-dappled spots in the blue sky and the grass underneath him just seem a little more brilliant, a little more magical. How would you both feel about staying here a little while longer? Kaito asks quietly.
I wouldn't object, Kokichi says. Lie down, though. I'm not staying without a nice pillow to relax on, detective.
Rantaro hums his agreement, and Kaito grins. Hell yes, this is exactly what he goes to the gym for. He flops back onto the grass, half on the jacket Rantaro laid down, and spreads his arms wide. Rantaro nestles under one, and Kokichi buries into the other one. Rantaro stretches his arm across Kaito's stomach, pawing blindly until Kokichi finds his hand and firmly intertwines his fingers with Rantaro's. I love you both, Kaito murmurs, the words almost lost to the gentle breeze. Love you too, Starlight, Rantaro murmurs back, without missing a beat.
Only Kaito? Kokichi adds drowsily. I can't believe Rantaro hates me.
Rantaro chuckles lightly, breath warm and ticklish against Kaito's neck. He unlinks his hand from Kokichi and reaches all the way across, running his fingers through Kokichi's hair and ending in gently cupping his cheek. I don't hate you, he clarifies, giving Kokichi a warm and sleepy smile. I love you too, Sunshine, more than anything. You know I do. Kaito can't see Kokichi's face, but he can feel the way he clutches at Kaito a little tighter and burrows his face into Kaito's side a little further. Heh, embarrassed, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Kokichi mutters, I love both of you too. A lot. Whatever. No need to thank me.
Kaito can't even muster up the energy to complain about how lame that sounded. He just rubs Kokichi's back with one hand and toys with Rantaro's hair with the other, eyelids slowly fluttering shut. The last thing he hears is Rantaro's breathless little laugh at Kokichi's confession, and the last thing he feels is Kokichi's grip slackening on his shirt, his breath slowing and evening out. Wouldn't fall asleep any other way, honestly.